All right, folks, let's open this up with a funny little truth bomb. If you want to see who cares about you, disappear for a bit. If they don't come looking, you've got your answer. Harsh? Maybe. But it's one of those sayings that makes you smirk because deep down, you know it's true. Now, my friends, today we're talking about something that's equal parts freeing, scary, and, let's be honest, a little bit satisfying. We're diving into what really happens in their head when you simply vanish. And I don't mean cutting down your texts or being less available. I mean really disappearing. No calls, no hey stranger messages, no quick likes on their posts. You just stop showing up like you used to. And trust me, this isn't just about creating drama. This is about shifting the entire balance of power. Because here's the reality. When you've been available all the time, people start treating you like background noise. You become the safe bet, the person who's always going to answer, the one they can reach out to whenever they want without wondering if you'll be there. And while that might sound nice in theory, it can quickly turn into them taking you for granted. It's like having Wi-Fi. No one thanks the Wi-Fi for being there every day, but the second it goes down, suddenly everyone's panicking and calling the provider like it's the end of the world. That's you. You've been their constant connection. But the second you go offline, they feel it. Picture this. One day, they wake up and grab their phone expecting to see a message from you. Maybe it's a good morning text, a meme, or just something random to make them smile. But today, nothing. They figure you're busy, no big deal. The next day, still nothing. Now they're starting to tilt their head a little. That's weird. A week passes, and suddenly the absence is glaring. That's when they start to feel it. Not in the, oh, I haven't heard from them kind of way, but in the, wait, where did they go kind of way. Because whether they admit it or not, you were part of their rhythm. You were the song in the background they'd gotten used to hearing. And now that the song's stopped, the silence is loud. Here's the thing most people don't like to admit. Predictability is comforting, but it's also boring. When they think they know exactly how you'll respond, how quickly you'll answer, and how often you'll check in, they stop appreciating it. Your kindness turns into something they expect, not something they value. And that's when your absence becomes your greatest move. When you disappear, really disappear, they start losing their sense of control. 1 minute, they were confident you'd always be there. The next, you've slipped right out of their grasp. And it's not like you slammed the door in anger, no big confrontation, no dramatic goodbye, just gone. And that, my friends, is what throws them off balance the most. See, when you fight with someone, they know where they stand. They can justify things in their head. We argued, they'll cool off, and then we'll talk. But when you disappear without warning, that's when the real questions start. Did I do something? Did they lose interest? Are they done with me for good? And those questions lead to doubt. Doubt in their worth, doubt in their importance to you, doubt in whether they ever really had the upper hand. And let me tell you, that doubt is more powerful than any angry speech you could have given. Here's a little secret. Disappearing isn't about punishing them. It's about protecting you. It's about realizing that if they don't see your value when you're standing right there, maybe it's time to let the silence do the talking. Think about it this way. When you step back, you create space. And in that space, they're forced to see what's missing. They might try to fill it with other people, other distractions or other habits, but nothing fits quite the same. Because it's not just anyone they're missing, it's you, your way of listening, your humor, the comfort of knowing you'd show up when they needed someone. It's like their favorite coffee shop suddenly closing down. Sure, they can get coffee somewhere else, but it doesn't taste the same. It doesn't come with that familiar warmth or that exact little touch you always added without thinking twice. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but if I disappear, won't they just forget me? Here's the thing. You're not vanishing into thin air. You're removing your constant presence, not your entire existence. You're not erasing yourself from the planet, you're stepping out of their daily life. And when you do, you become the unanswered question in their mind. They start wondering, where are you? What are you doing? Who are you spending time with? Are you happier now? And each question they ask themselves pulls them further into curiosity and eventually into missing you. That's when the tables turn. You're no longer the one chasing. They are. You've gone from being predictable and always accessible to being the mystery they want to solve. And in that shift, you take back your power. Let me tell you something important. This move isn't about revenge. This isn't, I'll disappear so they suffer. This is, I'll disappear so I can thrive. It's you saying, I'm not going to pour my time and energy into someone who doesn't pour it back. And trust me, once you make that decision, everything changes. Because here's the truth. People don't always appreciate consistency, but they always notice when it's gone. And when your consistency disappears, they start noticing every little place it used to be. They hear the silence in their phone notifications. They feel the emptiness in moments they would have shared with you. They realize the small joys you brought to their days weren't small at all. And here's the kicker. The more you stay gone, the more they start to see you in a new light. You're not the always available version of yourself they got used to. You're the self-assured, independent, thriving version. And that's magnetic. It's attractive in a way that's almost irresistible because it's rare. So if you've been overextending yourself, chasing after someone who treats you like a backup plan, here's your wake-up call. Step away. Let them feel the cold draft of life without you warming it up. Let them realize the comfort they once had isn't coming back on demand. And when they start to reach out, when they start trying to pull you back into their orbit, you'll know exactly where you stand. You'll know that you don't need their validation, their attention, or their approval to know your worth. So here's my challenge to you. If you're ready to stop chasing and start choosing yourself, drop this in the comments. I accept the challenge. Say it for you. Say it so they know you mean it. Say it so the world knows you're not afraid to walk away when something or someone no longer values you. Because, my friends, disappearing isn't the end of your story. It's the start of a new chapter where you're the main character, where you set the terms, where you decide who gets access to your time and energy. And the best part? Once they see what life is like without you, they'll never see you the same way again. Now let's dive into the 9 things they feel when you simply disappear. Believe me, they never saw this coming. And what happens next is going to shake them more than they'd like to admit. All right, folks, let's dive headfirst into number 1, the sting of rejection. And buckle up, because this one doesn't just tap them on the shoulder, it hits them like a cold bucket of water at 3 a.m. When you vanish, and I mean really vanish, the first thing that slaps them across the face is rejection. Not the little sting you get when your favorite cafe runs out of your go-to pastry. I'm talking about the kind of rejection that hits them deep in the gut, the kind that makes their stomach twist long after they realize you're gone. And here's the truth they didn't expect. You being the one to walk away was never in their script. In their mind, you were permanent. You'd always be there. You'd keep showing up. You'd keep trying. They thought they had you figured out, like a channel they could tune into whenever they felt like watching. So, what happens when that channel suddenly goes off air? Static, silence, confusion. Let's be real, they were too comfortable. They'd been spoiled by your consistency, the way you always checked in, the way you always cared, the way you always gave them the benefit of the doubt. Whether it was someone you were just starting to get to know or someone you'd been with for years, they got used to your energy being on tap, like water from the faucet. And you know what people never think about? The faucet. until it stops working. Now picture this. You've been showing interest in someone new. You've sent the messages. You've been present. You've shown them, without a doubt, that you're open and available. And them, they've been half in, half out. Maybe enjoying the attention but not matching your effort. And the worst part? They think it's fine because you'll always be there. Then one day you stop. You pull your energy back completely. No warning, no drama, just gone. And suddenly, it hits. The sting, the rejection. And here's the fascinating thing. They might not even admit it at first. They'll act unbothered. They'll scroll their phone like nothing happened. They might even tell themselves, I didn't need them anyway. But inside, it's chaos, because losing the upper hand feels a lot like losing control. And people hate losing control. Now let's switch the scene to someone from your past. A relationship that's been limping along for far too long. Maybe you've been the one trying to spark life back into it. You've been hanging on because you didn't want to be the one to end things. But deep down, you knew they'd stopped valuing you ages ago. When you finally disappear from that, oh, the sting is real. At first, they might feel a wave of relief. Finally, some space. But days pass, then weeks, and you're still gone. No calls, no texts, no effort. That's when relief turns into a tight, uncomfortable knot in their chest. That's when it hits them. You're not coming back just because they decide you should. They start replaying moments. Times they ignored you, times they brushed you off, times they made you feel like your presence was a chore, not a gift. And now they realize the gift's been returned and the store is closed. Steve Maraboli said it best. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. That's exactly what was happening. You were pouring into them until your own cup was dry, forgetting that you're the special one. Here's the part they never saw coming. This rejection they feel, it's not about you trying to hurt them. It's about you finally protecting yourself. It's about you stepping out of a game you never signed up to play. And yes, they'll feel it. Yes, it'll bother them. But that's their lesson, not your problem. You might have been scared to do this. Maybe you feared disappearing would make them forget you. Maybe you worried they'd replace you overnight. But here's the thing. Fear is a liar. Fear keeps you tied to people who've already shown you they don't value your worth. And once you step past it, you realize you were never losing them. They were losing you. So let's set the record straight. You are not here to beg. You are not here to convince anyone to see your value. You are not a clearance item waiting for someone to notice you. You are the prize. And when you walk away, it's not because you couldn't stay. It's because you chose not to. Here's your affirmation for this stage. I am enough as I am, and I will never beg for anyone to see my worth. Say it out loud. Write it in your journal. And for everyone watching, drop it in the comments right now so the whole world knows you mean it. This is you reclaiming your space. This is you choosing yourself over someone who made you an afterthought. And believe me, this sting of rejection they're feeling, it's only the beginning. Because what comes next isn't just missing you. It's realizing they'll never find another you. So hold your ground, my friends. The first sting is always the sharpest. But we're only getting started. Wait until you hear the next thing they feel when you simply disappear. That's where it really starts to mess with their head. All right, my friends, here we go. Number 2, the emptiness of missing something. And I'm telling you right now, this one is where the game really starts to mess with their head. You see, after that first sting of rejection we talked about, something shifts. At first, they puff out their chest, trying to look unbothered. I'm fine, totally fine, couldn't care less. They might even post a few happy-looking selfies, flash that fake smile for social media, try to convince the world and themselves that they're living their best life without you. But here's the reality, folks. Deep down, there's a hollow ache starting to grow, and it's got your name written all over it. It doesn't happen all at once. No, emptiness is sneaky. It's like a slow leak in a tire. They don't notice at first, but each day the pressure drops a little more. When you were there, they didn't even think about how much space you filled in their life. You were the steady background music they got used to, the comfort, the stability, the constant hum of energy that made things feel okay. And when that's suddenly gone, oh, they notice. They might not admit it out loud, but they notice. Imagine this. You'd been showing up for someone new, making time for them, sending the little thinking of you messages, being present. And them, they were lukewarm, never fully letting you in, but also never letting you go. Why? Because they thought you'd always be there. In their mind, you were like their favorite hoodie, soft, warm, always hanging around in case they needed comfort. But now, that hoodie's gone, and they're freezing. In an old relationship, this hits even harder. Think about it. You were there through the highs, the lows, the everyday boring stuff. You were their constant. You were the glue holding things together while they coasted, believing you'd never let go. And now you're gone. They're walking around with this invisible gap in their life. The goodnight texts? Gone. Weekend plans? Gone. Your laughter filling the kitchen? Gone. And here's the thing about emptiness. It has a way of turning everything into a reminder. That one song that used to play while you drove together, now it stabs them in the chest. That cafe where you'd grab coffee, now it's a minefield. Even random moments, a smell, a TV show, a silly inside joke, suddenly become little ghosts of you that won't leave them alone. This is when that old quote, "You don't know what you've got until it's gone," starts haunting them. They used to roll their eyes at that line, thinking it was just some cliché. But now it feels like it was written about them. They didn't appreciate you when you were standing right there in front of them, and now they're desperate for the comfort they once ignored. The human brain is funny like that. Psychologists call it the scarcity effect. The less accessible something becomes, the more valuable it suddenly seems. It's why you'll drive across town for your favorite snack when it's sold out everywhere. And in this case, you are that irreplaceable thing. Now that they can't have you, their brain keeps circling back, obsessing, wondering how to get you back. They'll try to fill the void. Maybe they'll start hanging out with friends more. Maybe they'll dive into work. Maybe they'll even try to date someone else. But it won't land the same. Why? Because they're comparing every little thing to you. And no matter how they try to distract themselves, every quiet moment is a reminder that something important is missing. And while they're over there feeling empty, here's the beautiful twist. You're not just sitting around staring at the wall, waiting for them to miss you. Nope. You're out here reclaiming your energy, pouring your time into things and people who actually deserve it. You've taken back your space, and that's exactly why their emptiness feels so sharp. They no longer have you as a backup plan, a comfort zone, a safety net. That's why this stage is so powerful. You've flipped the script. Before, they were the center and you revolved around them. Now, they're standing there, spinning in circles, and you're nowhere to be found. That's the moment the emptiness becomes more than just missing someone. It becomes a realization. They didn't just lose a person, they lost a presence. They lost the emotional anchor they didn't even know they relied on. And here's where you have to be strong, my friends, because the temptation to reach out in this stage is real. You might feel a tug in your chest to check in, to ask if they're okay, to see if they've realized what they lost. But listen to me carefully. Don't do it. If you interrupt this stage, you rob them of the full impact of missing you. Let them sit in that empty space. Let it echo. Because here's the truth. Your worth isn't proven by how quickly they come back. It's proven by the fact that you can hold your head high even when they don't. That's why I want you to anchor yourself with this affirmation. I am whole without them. Say it again. And then, my friends, drop it in the comments so the world knows you mean it. You don't need their texts to feel wanted. You don't need their calls to feel loved. You don't need their attention to feel alive. You are already enough, with or without them. And while they're pacing around trying to fill the hole your absence created, you're out here building something better, a life where your happiness isn't tied to whether someone else shows up. And I'll tell you this, that emptiness they feel, it's only going to grow if you stay strong. Because soon, it won't just be about missing your company. It'll be about realizing that no one else can fill the space you left. And that's when things get really interesting. So remember this, you are whole without them. Write it, say it, own it. This is your power. And if they ever come back, it's going to be on your terms. Because you're not just someone they miss, you're someone they should have never let go. And if you think this stage hits hard, wait until you hear what comes next. Because the next thing they feel is going to make this emptiness look like a warm-up. All right, folks, buckle up, because number 3, an overwhelming curiosity is where their mind really starts to unravel. By this stage, they've already felt the sting of rejection. They've sat with the emptiness of missing you, but now something darker, itchier, and more relentless starts creeping in. Curiosity, and not the cute, I wonder what's in the fridge kind. This is the I can't sleep, I can't focus, I need to know kind of curiosity. At first, they'll try to shrug it off. Oh, they're probably just busy, whatever. But as the days pass, that little voice in their head gets louder. They start asking themselves, why did you stop reaching out? Who are you with? Are you happier without me? Did I just get replaced? It's like their mind becomes a radio stuck on the same station, replaying questions they can't answer. If it's someone new you were chasing before, their curiosity comes with a side of confusion. You were giving them attention, showing interest, even chasing a little. And now, poof, you're a ghost. You've left their radar completely, and that drives them nuts. They can't decide if you lost interest, got busy, or decided they weren't worth it. All they know is that the script has flipped, and they don't like it one bit. And for someone from your past, oh, it hits different. They used to know everything about you, your routine, your habits, what you were watching, even how you liked your coffee. Now, they're in the dark. And human beings hate the dark. Not knowing where you are, what you're doing, or who you're with becomes unbearable. They start imagining someone else making you laugh, someone else taking your attention, someone else getting what they took for granted. The worst part for them? They can't find proof of anything. Every time they check their phone, no message from you. Every time they scroll your social media, nothing new. And that lack of information doesn't calm them. It makes them spiral harder. That's when they start getting sneaky, asking mutual friends about you, lurking in places they know you used to go, or scrolling through old pictures just to feel close to you again. But here's the beauty of this stage. They can't solve the mystery because you've stopped feeding them clues. You're too busy living your life, focusing on yourself, and pouring your energy into things that actually matter. You've become unpredictable, and unpredictability is addictive. The less they know, the more they want to know. So let this sink in. You are not an open book anymore. You're the locked journal they can't get their hands on. You are the mystery they can't solve. Say it, own it, and drop it in the comments. I am the mystery they can't solve. And trust me, my friends, that mystery is going to keep them hooked long after the silence began. Now, if you thought curiosity was bad, wait until you hear what happens next. This is where their emotions start to turn against them completely. All right, folks, number 4. Deep self-reflection is where things stop being just about you in their mind and start being about them. See, after they've been eaten alive by curiosity, something happens that they can't avoid. They get quiet, not the peaceful, I'm meditating by a waterfall kind of quiet. More like the dangerous, I can't stop thinking about what I did wrong. Quiet. This is when the mirror comes out, and they're forced to stare at themselves. Really stare. At first, they told themselves you'd be back. They brushed off your absence like it was temporary. But as the silence stretches on, that confidence crumbles. They start thinking, did I push them away? Was I too cold? Did I treat them like they didn't matter? And once those questions creep in, they stick like glue. They replay old conversations in their head, pausing on the moments where you were giving, where you were present, where you were trying, and they weren't. For someone new, this can be a real shock to the system. They might not have realized just how much they dismissed you, how little they valued your attention, but now, with you gone, they start connecting the dots. Maybe they stopped talking to me because I didn't meet them halfway. Maybe they pulled away because I acted like I didn't care. And that realization, that's a gut punch, because deep down, they know they were the reason you disappeared. Now, for someone from your past, that reflection cuts deep. They're not just thinking about the last few weeks, they're thinking about the last few years. Every time you showed up, every time you tried to breathe life into something that was fading, they remember brushing it off. They remember choosing distraction instead of connection. And now, sitting in that quiet, they realize it wasn't you who failed the relationship, it was them. This is where they start to see their own cracks, their own patterns, the way they let something precious slip through their fingers because they thought it would always be there. It's not just losing you, it's realizing the type of person they've been. And my friends, that kind of truth doesn't just sting, it lingers. Meanwhile, you're not pacing around waiting for their epiphany. You're out there living, growing, getting sharper. Their self-reflection is their homework, not yours. You've already done the hard thing, pulling back, reclaiming your space, and refusing to settle for less. Now they have to sit in their own truth and decide if they're willing to change enough to ever deserve your presence again. So here's your affirmation for this stage. I reflect, but I don't regret. Drop it in the comments. Show yourself, show them, and show the world that you're not stuck looking back. You're moving forward stronger, wiser, and more unshakable than ever. And trust me, the next stage, that's where their mind really starts to mess with them. All right, folks, number 5. The urge to pursue you. This is where the shift happens. This is where the air changes. This is the moment where the person who once sat back with all the confidence in the world suddenly feels the fire under their feet. At first, they might have told themselves a nice little bedtime story. I'm fine without them. I don't need them. I'll move on. But here's the truth. They've already been through the sting of rejection. They've already felt the emptiness of missing you. They've been eaten alive by curiosity. They've had to sit in front of the mirror during deep self-reflection. And now it's like an alarm has gone off in their chest. I have to get them back. It doesn't matter if this was someone new you were trying to attract or someone from an old relationship you finally walked away from. This stage hits them hard. That gap your absence left, it's not just a quiet spot in their life anymore. It's a roaring reminder of how much better their world was when you were in it. And when that truth starts to sink in, the urge to pursue you becomes almost instinctual. If it's someone new, this is the moment they realize they might have messed up badly. They start remembering how consistent you were, how you showed up without fail, how your presence made them feel seen and wanted. Now, silence. Nothing from you. That vacuum pulls at them. They might test the waters, liking your posts, replying to your stories, sending that "Hey stranger" text to see if the door's still open. If it's someone from your past, it's even more intense. They can't stop replaying those nights you stayed up just to talk things through, those small sacrifices you made without ever demanding credit. Those ways you kept the relationship alive when it was gasping for air. Now that you're gone, they see all of it clearly, and they want it back. That want becomes a need. That need becomes a chase. And here's the irony that makes the universe smirk. You've pulled away, and now they're the one chasing. The script has flipped. What used to feel like their advantage, the certainty that you'd always be there, is gone, replaced with the uneasy feeling that they might have lost you for good. And that's the fuel for their pursuit. But here's where your power lies. Just because they're chasing doesn't mean you have to run back into their arms. This isn't about playing hard to get. This is about standing in your worth, knowing your value, and making them prove they deserve the privilege of your presence. If they want to close the gap, it's on your terms, not theirs. So as they scramble to find a way back in, remind yourself of this truth. You are the prize, not the option. That's why they're chasing. That's why they're restless. And that's why you hold all the cards. Your affirmation for this stage? I attract, I don't chase. Write it in the comments like you mean it. Let it be a public declaration, not just to them, but to yourself and to the world, that the dynamic has shifted. They feel the urge to pursue you. But now, the choice is yours. And trust me, what's coming next? It's where their emotions start turning into desperation. Number 6, the battle between relief and regret. This is where their emotions start eating them alive. When you first disappeared, they might have felt that wave of relief. Maybe they even exhaled and thought, finally, some space. They told themselves it was for the best. They could breathe again, do their own thing, live without having to answer to you or feel the weight of your presence. They might have even spun a little victory speech in their head. I'm fine without them. I can move on. This is better. But here's what they didn't see coming. Relief has an expiration date. And once it's gone, regret comes rushing in like a flood. It starts small, just little whispers in their head. Maybe I should have tried harder. Maybe I was too cold. Maybe I didn't see their worth. Those whispers grow louder with every quiet day that passes without you. Until finally, they can't escape the truth. They let something valuable slip right through their fingers. If it was someone new, that regret hits like a missed train you'll never get back. At first, they were glad not to feel the pressure of your attention. They thought they were gaining freedom. But now, they see the reality. You were a rare opportunity. You were different, and they blew it. The space they thought they wanted now feels like a hollow room they can't fill. If it was someone from your past, the regret runs deeper, cutting to the bone. Maybe in the first moments of your absence, they felt lighter, almost relieved. But as the days stretch into nights, the emptiness grows heavier. The memories start to haunt them, your laughter, your presence, the way you showed up when no one else did. That so-called freedom they thought they gained, it's just loneliness wearing a mask. This push and pull between relief and regret is torture for them. It's like they're caught in a riptide. They try to swim toward the comfort of relief, but regret keeps dragging them back under. And the truth becomes impossible to deny. What they thought was space was actually loss. What they called freedom was just the absence of something meaningful. And here's the thing, this is their battle, not yours. You've stepped back, you've reclaimed your peace. You're not here to soften the blow of their regret or reassure them it's okay. Let them sit in it. Let them feel the weight of what they've done or failed to do. Because this stage teaches them a lesson they can't unlearn. The treasure they lost will never be replaced by temporary relief. And that truth will follow them long after the moment has passed. Your affirmation for this moment. I am more than enough. Write it in the comments, claim it, own it. Let the world see it. Let them see it. You're not something people get over. You're the one they regret losing forever. And trust me, what comes next will make them wish they could rewrite the past. Number 7. The desire to play the game. This is where their desperation starts dressing itself up as strategy. By now, regret has been chewing at them, and deep down they know they've lost something valuable. But instead of swallowing their pride, admitting their mistakes, and showing you genuine change, they reach for an old, dusty trick from the book of control: games. This isn't about love. This isn't about respect. This is about them trying to manipulate the situation so they can get you back without having to face their own faults. And the first rule of their game? Pretend they don't care. They'll try to match your energy, act distant when you're distant, act silent when you're silent, thinking they can trigger the old version of you, the one who used to chase, the one who used to break the silence just to feel close again. But here's the plot twist they didn't see coming. You're not playing anymore. So they get creative. Maybe they start posting on social media, suddenly living their best life without you. Selfies with friends, flashy nights out, cryptic captions meant to catch your attention. They'll try to paint a picture that says, "Look at me, I'm doing great." But beneath the filter and the fake smile is a quiet panic. They're hoping you'll take the bait. Some take it further. They'll flirt publicly, maybe even with people they know you'll see, just to see if it stirs jealousy in you. They think if they can make you feel what they're feeling, they'll regain some power. But here's the part that burns them the most. You see the move, you know the tactic, and you don't flinch. If it's someone new, this game is really just a test. They want to know if you're still hooked, if you'll crawl back the moment they dangle something in front of you. But every day you stay quiet, every moment you don't react, is another blow to their confidence. If it's someone from your past, the games can get trickier. The mixed signals, the hot and cold behavior. One day they act like they're over you, the next day they drop hints they still care. But you've grown too much to be dragged back into that loop. You're not responding to smoke and mirrors anymore, and that's what they can't stand. Their games used to work. They used to know exactly which buttons to press to get you running back. But now, those buttons are gone. You've taken your power back. Here's your affirmation for this stage. I no longer play games. Write it in the comments like a stamp on your new chapter. Let them play all they want, because the real victory is stepping off the board entirely. When you stop playing, you win, and they're left holding pieces to a game they can't win without you. What's coming next? Let's just say, the game isn't the only thing they're losing. Number 8. The crushing weight of silence. This is where everything they've done, every game they've played, every attempt to control the situation, collapses under one simple truth. You're still not speaking. At first, they told themselves they could handle it. They thought, fine, I'll just wait them out. They'll reach out eventually. They believed time was on their side. But as the days pass and your silence stays unbroken, something starts to happen. That quiet they thought they could endure, it turns into a suffocating pressure that follows them everywhere. It's not just the absence of your voice, it's the absence of the connection. That space where you used to be is now a vacuum, and it swallows up every ounce of comfort they once had. Every morning, they wake up without a message from you. Every night they go to sleep without hearing from you, adds another brick to the weight pressing on their chest. If they're someone new, the silence hits differently. They're used to you being the one to keep things alive, the one who pushes conversations forward, who makes plans, who shows interest. Now, nothing. Just an empty inbox and a growing pit in their stomach. And here's the part that burns them the most. The silence acts like a mirror. It forces them to see their own lack of effort, their own hesitation, and the role they played in pushing you away. If they're someone from your past, the silence is even heavier. They were used to the rhythm of your relationship, the goodnight calls, the weekend plans, even the little arguments that still meant you cared. Now that rhythm is gone, and all that's left is stillness. And that stillness feels wrong, like walking into a once lively room and finding it abandoned. This silence doesn't just sit there quietly, it talks. It says, "I'm not coming back just because you expect me to." It says, "You no longer have the access you once had." It says, "You lost something real, and now you have to live with that." They can't drown it out with noise, can't distract themselves with new people, because the silence follows them everywhere. They replay the missed opportunities in their head, the moments they should have said more, done more, cared more. The unspoken words echo louder than anything they ever did say. And every day you stay quiet, the message gets clearer. You're not filling that space again just to make them comfortable. Here's your affirmation for this stage. My silence speaks volumes. Write it in the comments like a declaration of your strength, because this isn't passive. This isn't weakness. This is you choosing not to give them the comfort they lost. And while they crumble under the crushing weight of your silence, you stand taller, knowing your absence has become the loudest thing they've ever heard. Number 9. The fear that brings them crawling back. This is the final stage, the breaking point. After they've been crushed under the silence, after they've played their games and lost, after they've run out of excuses and distractions, fear takes over. And this isn't the small kind of fear. This is the deep, gut-wrenching kind that wakes them up in the middle of the night with one thought: I've lost them forever. It's no longer about ego, pride, or proving they're fine without you. All that bravado? Gone. Now it's pure survival mode, and survival means getting you back before it's too late. The idea of you moving on is unbearable. They start imagining you laughing with someone else, sharing your time, your attention, your heart. They wonder if someone else is texting you good morning, if someone else is making you smile the way they once did, or the way they never could. Every unanswered question fuels their panic. If there's someone new, that fear grows from realizing they badly underestimated you. They thought they had all the time in the world, that you'd keep showing up no matter what. But your silence has stretched too far, and now they can't shake the image of someone else taking the spot they thought they owned. That's when you'll see sudden messages, random likes, unexpected calls, all those little attempts to claw their way back into your orbit. If they're from your past, this fear cuts even deeper. They thought they knew you, thought they had you figured out, but now, faced with your complete independence, they panic. They remember all the times they dismissed you, pushed you away, and assumed you'd never leave for good. And now they're living in the reality they never imagined, one where you're gone, thriving, and no longer reachable. This fear drives them into action. They might swallow their pride and show up in ways they never did before. They might confess things they once kept hidden. They might beg, plead, or even try to rewrite history just to get a second chance. And it won't be because they suddenly became selfless. It's because the thought of losing you permanently terrifies them. But here's where everything changes. When they come crawling back, it's not on their terms. It's on yours. You're not the one chasing anymore. You're not waiting by the phone. You've reclaimed your worth, and they know it. They're no longer the one holding the power. You are. They now see what you've known all along. You're not just worth having. You're worth chasing. Here's your affirmation. I am worth the chase. Write it in the comments like you're sealing it into stone. Let their fear serve as proof of your value. They're crawling back because they finally understand what they lost. And now you get to decide if they'll ever have the privilege of being close to you again. And that brings us to the end of this breakdown. You've seen every stage they go through when you disappear. The regret, the curiosity, the fear that finally brings them crawling back. Remember, your silence, your growth, and your self-respect are your greatest powers. You're not here to chase. You're here to choose who gets access to you. If this video hit home for you, Make sure to subscribe for more content like this. Give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And drop your affirmation in the comments. I'll be reading them all.